Welcome to another episode of 90 Minutes of Wisdom, a channel dedicated to helping you expand your knowledge and develop a more successful and peaceful mind. My guest today is a mindset and life coach based in Ireland. She has a master's degree in health and clinical psychology. Her business is called Empowering Thought Therapies, or ETT for short. By combining techniques such as NLP, CBT, relationship coaching, logotherapy, by using a holistic approach, she helps her clients to personally develop and thrive. Please welcome to the show the wonderful, multi-talented Tanja Vucinic. Welcome, Tanja.
Hi.
So nice to see you.
Be here.
Awesome. Great to see you. It's been a while. Thanks for taking the time. It's so interesting. You have so many talents. You know, and it's so diverse. So we'll try to take a little bit of time on each of them. We probably won't be able to get to all of them, considering how multi-talented you are. But let's start by focusing on your relatively new business. So do you want to talk a little bit about ETT?
Thank you, Andrew, first of all, for inviting me. I'm glad to be here. And we were talking about this for some time. And finally, we now have a chance to realize it. About my business. So I was kind of, with this whole situation and 2020, which kind of affected everyone. I was thinking about, how I could use my schooling background, which was in psychology and kind of more classical approach to psychotherapy, and then kind of combine it with more like spiritual approach, which I'm also very interested in my whole life. And I was researching upon and experiencing in my everyday life. So I came up with this idea, to have my online business, because before I was kind of a part of the team and part of institutions like schools and even hospitals sometimes. But here in Ireland, we had some lockdowns and related to this pandemic situation and everything. So I was thinking to actually start with my online coaching business, and this is how ETT was born, so to speak. And so I wanted to kind of offer to people something kind of more like a combination between psychotherapy and more kind of spiritual awareness type of coaching, which also includes mindfulness and meditation and some exercises that wouldn't be considered like classical, but they're very valid and they help immensely, with your growth as person.
So if I could stop you there, I just want to ask
sure.
about, so NLP, I mean, I know what it is very well, do neuro-linguistic programming, right? And that's what Tony Robbins was very famous for,
exactly.
That's how he started. Very, very powerful. I've had, the guest, Brady Clifton Bennett, who's an expert in this. He is a Native American who's an expert also in NLP. He taught me a lot about it. Really, really cool, really amazing techniques. What is CBT? What does that stand for?
CBT is cognitive behavioral therapy, which is another type of therapy. So, it's more in relation to changing your thought patterns, which is actually my main focus in my approach and my coaching anyway. And that's why this kind of psychological type of therapy is very beneficial. A lot of our issues and problems stem from thoughts, like kind of negative thoughts or thoughts that don't serve your most optimal life. As you probably know, we were talking about that before as well. And so I'm including that technique in my coaching as well. And obviously you mentioned NLP. So this technique is also using different modalities like audiovisual and kinesthetic. And so because people are kind of different, so some people are more visual types, other people are more kind of, you know, prone to learn through touch or listening, or so NLP is very good with that. So in combination with all these techniques, and also you mentioned in your introduction that I'm using logotherapy. So I was in this type of kind of surrounding, even like for quite some years, and even my thesis was in logotherapy partially. So logotherapy is healing through meaning, you know. So these are all kind of different kind of parts of the whole. And since I do have this holistic approach, and I do believe in it, because no one approach is the best for everyone. So everyone is different. Everyone hopefully would have a chance to be approached in a different way. And through going through all these techniques over the course of my life, I like to combine them and to create some sort of my own unique approach when dealing with people. And
Yeah, that's great to combine those different techniques and different ways of doing things. Because I was just actually listening to a video this morning
okay,
by a Shaolin monk, and he was talking about, you know, the different paths, and he was giving a story about going up a mountain and how each person has their own path. You know,
exactly.
so it's like a lot of the times it's not like there's a certain, it's getting the person centered with their own, and that's where I think it's really cool that you also have that spiritual point of view, so you have that understanding, like my path is not your path, which is not the other person's path, which is kind of like when you do, it's like like homework. And I always think of this analogy, like, and you're cheating off somebody next to you, but they have a different test, right? So they're like,
Exactly.
so like you start cheating off of them. I mean, you're gonna be wrong because you have completely different questions, you know, that you have to answer. So it's very unique to each person, and of course their life experience up to whenever they do meet you is completely different, right?
Yeah, I do believe in, like, you know, we are on the spiritual path, all of us. And as you so beautifully said, like, everybody is unique. And there is no authority in that sense to say, oh, you should do only that, you know, or only that approach is valid, or other approaches are not. So I'm completely, you know, resonating with that. And I was always a fighter for freedom of expression, of different types of uniqueness, you know, that people are carrying within them. And that's why I, even on my own journey, like, I was studying science and psychology, and I was trying out different types of stuff and working on myself, I went through loads of schools of thoughts, different workshops, so I kind of only took what resonated with me personally, because I feel when we are in alignment with our own true nature and our own path, then we can offer from that perspective the best to people that we have for them, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
And that's why I want to actually combine all those techniques in my approach that I actually believed in. And like I said, everyone is different, so I want to also offer them a choice to have when I'm coaching them. So
Yeah, well, yeah, for sure. And like I was saying, it's understanding. So I think that sometimes, and you know, you're the expert, not me, but sometimes I think that, you know, looking and saying, well, you know, if you're not on a path to 3D success, let's say,
yes,
money, bigger cars, bigger houses, stuff like that, like there's something wrong with you, right? But it's that's not it. It's not the it thing at all. That's the it thing if you're in the like a three-dimensional point of view, right?
exactly.
But
Yeah.
that's not the whole picture at all. So maybe you want to speak to that a bit?
Yeah, that's a good subject. I actually had a reality transurfing course. I don't know if you maybe saw it on my YouTube channel. And now recently I started with another course of Neville Goddard, and both of those courses also are connected with law of attraction, manifesting different things. And a lot of people are actually using those techniques for material like wealth, or I don't know, manifesting their ideal car or house or job, or but that's just one level, as you said, of experience. But not everyone is actually, as you said, interested in it. And so, for example, I for once am not interested in those what I find more superficial aspects, even if they're also serving as some sort of proof that it works, because once you're manifested a car, maybe you will have more faith in, something bigger than yourself or your ego to actually guide you through this life, can show you the way to a deeper understanding. And then, maybe you let go of those more superficial desires, and then you can come into an alignment with more deeper spiritual journey. I think everything has its purpose, like even the most superficial things that someone can think of, like, oh, why would you want that? Or it all serves the purpose at that particular moment. That's why I don't want to judge people and say, oh, you're wrong for wanting that, or it's not for up to me to kind of be that type of authority. I don't consider myself as that, or anyone else to be an ultimate authority or the bearer of truth.
Yeah, I think,
Yeah.
sorry to cut you off on that subject, though. I think that it's really, again, what we said, their life path. So it might be their life path, somebody's life path, that their like soul needs to learn solely about 3D stuff, right? And they haven't
Yeah.
had as many reincarnations or as many lives, or their spirit isn't as developed, or however you want to say it, right? So
Yeah.
in this life, this is fine for them. This is their path. Who are, as you said, who am I or you or anyone to tell them it's different? Plus, I really believe that it's your life, right? Like,
Yes.
it's your life. So, like, your life is your life. But really, not anybody else in the whole world can tell you how you should live it, what you should do, what you shouldn't do, that you're wrong. It's yours to live, right? And it's really is. It's a gift given to you, and only
Yes. Yes, but you see, even in logotherapy, that was kind of like criticism to logotherapy, for example, because they say in order for you to even be free at that level of choice, how you react. So in logotherapy, for example, there is a popular saying, like, it doesn't matter what happens to you, it matters how you react to what happens to you. But then there were some critics that say, okay, but even for that, you actually have to be on a certain level of awareness, even for that, to be able to discern, So with that, like, some people are not even encouraged in the whole entire life to think with their own minds, to kind of follow their own paths. So they just took on different belief system from their parents or their school system. Like, they kind of blindly followed, or didn't kind of even have a chance to learn about those things, or to have that discernment for themselves, if you know what I mean. So that can be an issue with when you're coaching someone. And that's why I have this very unique approach for everyone, because then if someone is not even aware of their power, and their strength, then we are trying to figure it out, like, where would those doors be into those kind of venues, if that makes sense, and then slowly open them up to the opportunities and the possibility that they are actually very powerful, and that they can change their mind, their thought system, and then as a result, their life experience. Yeah.
Really cool. Really well said,
Yeah.
Tanya. And I think
Thanks.
that,
Yeah.
the beautiful thing I think about your approach is I see, and people will definitely disagree with me on this, but I see a limitation to just normal psychology. Okay, so it's like, kind of like, once you got that person, and it's great, and then I know I have friends who are psychiatrists, psychologists, and it's fantastic. But I think, but the spiritual aspect is limitless. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like to grow spiritually, like we'll never achieve, I think in, for myself, I won't achieve what I really want to in just this life. I think like I always think like how far can I get in this, in the years that I have, and how far can I develop, and then keep developing and keep developing. And as you know very well, as you develop, you realize there's more and there's more, and yeah, and it's great. So I think that having that, because you could say someone could come to you, and I don't know what kind of different issues they come to you with, but they could say like you and I know is like abundance block, right? I don't have money. Well, it like flow of energy. Money is just energy, and so a flow of monetary energy, like it usually comes down to like I don't deserve it. I don't like things like there's blocks in your head, right? I'm not good enough. I don't deserve it. Others for other people, or it's money is evil, or there's only X amount of like these kind of abundance blocks for wealth, and there's abundance blocks for time, and then there's health blocks, then there's like happiness blocks, and on, right? All these blocks, and that's why I'm always a big fan of like Pink Floyd, and I always think about like another brick in the wall,
The
it's
wall, yeah, yeah.
and it's these things, but who makes them all? And you said it kind of before, you alluded to that. We do. Like what I try to tell people is that you stop where you say, "Oh, I can't do that." That's no one else made that block for you, right? You say, "Oh, that's it." Well, that's for other. I could never do that. The minute you say that, you're like, "Oh," your mind says, "Okay, well, that's where we end," right?
Yes, yes. You said it nicely, and what you said at the beginning, it's like this. I kind of started with hardcore science and psychology, and then I saw I don't wish to kind of be a part of the specific group in that sense that limit you in that way. Like, oh, this is the only approach that is kind of working, because I myself have been through a lot of different schools, as I said, and every time you can learn something new, you can add a different kind of spice into this meal of your approach as a coach or as a psychologist, or so. And even like, I myself as a person, I never wanted to belong to any specific school, just because I do believe that everyone is on their own unique spiritual journey, and that we are actually just walking through or traveling through this life experience and collecting different experiences that we need in this lifetime. And so, like I said, these are all concepts. Psychology is a concept. Science is also changing all the time. Sometimes you have like some people, what they were saying, that the Earth is flat, or Earth is like it's like a lot of different eras in the history of humanity were actually different, and in terms of the knowledge that was gathered. And now we have quantum physics that goes deeper, and that is also showing how matter is actually influenced by mind, and that it's not actually separate, what the hardcore science was claiming before that. So it's all kind of evolving and growing as the universe itself. And that's why I always want to leave the room for new data, new
Sure.
knowledge. And in my approach, that's very important for me, because I want to leave for people a choice and the room for their own type of conclusion, what they can have on their own journey. So
Well said. Yeah, for sure. I mean, right now the latest thing I saw is that kind of more like the Matrix kind of idea, where like
yes,
life, like we've known that, and I've known that since I was very young, and it's in every spiritual kind of doctrine and Eastern, sorry, spiritual thing is kind of like life is an illusion, and we're tripping, and we're imagining this life. And now like there's a lot of evidence. The latest, it was a couple of months ago, and they said there's more evidence pointing now to say that life is a simulation. Yeah, and like
yeah, yeah.
and that's what that's so weird, right? It's so weird.
Yeah, it's weird. That's why, it's kind of like I always like to kind of combine both approaches. Like, for example, I'm sure you know, actually, because we were watching Joe Dispenza, I
Mm.
remember, several months ago, and following some of his work. So he would be kind of my type of a scientist and a spiritual type person, because he combines science with spirituality, and he tries to kind of make sense out of both approaches, which would be my kind of preference as well, because I don't want to blindly kind of follow, scientific research and say, oh yeah, because it's like research, then it has to be valid. But at the same time, there are some people who are just they think they are kind of spiritual, but maybe they're flying off the handle with
Yes.
some of the stuff, and it also can cause more problems than the actual solutions, because we do live here in this 3D world still. So if you kind of can remain grounded and also aware at the same time, I think that's the most kind of optimal approach that I would be offering, because then you can use best of both worlds, so to speak.
I like what you're saying, and I realize that too. There's some people that use it as an excuse, and that always bothers me. And being in, like, we're both musicians, right? So we'll
Yes,
talk about that
true.
after. But like a lot of people would use music as an excuse, like I have no money, and but it's okay because I'm a musician, or I have no money, but it's okay because I'm spiritual. So like you don't understand me, but like that's not it. You know what I mean? Like to me it's an excuse. Not to say like I was a starving artist for many years, and sometimes it's necessary to get like because you want to put all your focus in your art and you don't want any distractions, right? So you want to go like laser focus, and I understand that. And I'm not knocking that at all, but I think that a lot of these things to be careful for those. Like nature is abundant, right? So if we think about that, well, why shouldn't we have an abundance of wealth? And then also, if our point is to serve other people and it's
Yes.
exchange of energy, you should be serving somebody and providing them value in any way, which way in your talents or you so desire, and they should be like compensating you, the other way. So you should be having this natural exchange and helping people around you, and that should lead to also your physical 3D things being taken care of or monetary wealth, right?
Yeah, I think that's a great point, because I think people are forgetting that we are all connected, and that's where spiritual experience, like first-hand experience, helps immensely. Like I had this experience when I was like 12 or 13 years old. I had some sort of NDE experience without any trauma or anything like that, but I was kind of thrown off my body almost, and experienced this beauty and pure bliss of just being connected with everything and everyone. And this kind of affected me in my orientation, and I was thinking like, okay, we are like, what happens to one person affects other people, and so we definitely can offer something as we go, because we are together on the spiritual journey to each other, and to kind of start from this, even from this place of being grateful
Mm.
for this experience, and then share this love and abundance. And because of what you said before, like not everyone needs to have some sort of physical material manifestation in order to feel that abundance. Like for me, abundance is also enjoying the sounds of nature, or being next to the water, or being close to people I love. Like it's all about, for me, it's more about experiences than the actual kind of material wealth, or some
Yeah.
sort of piling up stuff. I don't know if I told you before, but I'm a minimalist as well, so for me, less is more.
Mm. There was a great quote I read not too long ago, when it said, "Anything in excess is poison." Right? So,
Yeah.
like excessive time, excessive money, excessive objects, excessive like I mean, I guess you could say like like not love, I guess, but like excessive love would be good. But like it's like it's too much. It can poison you. Plus, it can get you off your path. So it's easier when you have. I found from my own life, and I've always been blessed and so much gratitude for every different experience that I had, the good ones and the bad ones. Because they say like the hard ones is when you grow. You never grow when everything's going super well. It's just like, all right, everything's going well. But when those bad times, that's when you grow. And I'm thankful for those experiences, each and every experience. And to be without, and you don't have the let's say the money to go to restaurants, to buy new objects, to buy new things, then it gives you time to reflect and develop inwardly. Now, if you were born, and I've seen this firsthand, if you're born to abundance of wealth, sometimes it's the worst thing, right? Because you're always distracted. You have all these toys and objects and things and parties, and it's always out. It's always out. And you never have time. You never bother to look in. And then what happens is at a certain point, you realize you're very, very miserable.
Yeah, especially when you take those things for granted, like if you're born in like some wealth, or you kind of, it's just there, you don't have time to learn to how to appreciate it even. So yeah, I definitely agree on that. And yeah, it's a nice example.
Progress leads to happiness. Another thing I was learning a week ago, so I can't remember who said it, was that the focus should be of your life should be on serving other people and progress, not on happiness. Because everyone's like, oh, I just want to be happy. Because I was like, yeah, I just want to be happy. I want to be healthy and happy. And he's like, no, you should be on like really servitude and progress, because servitude and progress will lead to the happiness.
Great example. And what you said, it's not about being happy or not happy, and it's about how some experiences that you're going through can actually make you a person who is more whole, more kind of aware, in a ultimate sense, which also kind of helps your spiritual progress. Because if we are here in this dimension to learn and to evolve, then every type of experience, even the worst ones, they actually do kind of add up to this soul growth, as they say. And you don't really know why you're going through some of the things that you're going through at the particular moment. And then usually, from like after some years, even some people say, oh, this is why it happened, because I needed it at that particular moment. But they were so immersed in it, then they didn't see it at that time.
I've programmed my own mind to be in a constant state of gratitude.
Yes.
Like all day, I'm just like, thank you. Like, and everything just keeps going well. And it's kind of repeats. So when I'm like thinking of nothing, no one thinks of nothing, but when thinking of nothing, all that's going in my mind is thank you. Like gratitude, that's all it is. Because even if it seems like now, like in an experience, I'm actually in an amazing place, but let's say everything's going really, really well for me. But let's say everything is temporary, right? Everything shall come to pass, right? All the good times, all the bad times, even this shall pass, right? So there's always that thing of being humble and enjoy the good times, and then the bad times, okay, don't worry, because you're going to get back to the good times. Just kind of, live through it. But knowing that, and I would say that's, one of the greatest things that I've learned is to be in gratitude through everything. And that's the hardest time. It's easy to be in gratitude for when things are going well. When things are going bad, just constantly be in gratitude. I'd be like, okay, well, and I try to tell people, well, just learn the lesson. Because if you learn the lesson, then you don't need those perceivably bad circumstances to persist, right? Just learn the lesson. So, and ask the right questions. So meditate, depending on what you believe in, guides, angels, subconscious mind, ask yourself those questions. Why am I going through this? What do I need to learn? How do I get through this? And then help. Please help me get through this. That's it.
Yeah, it's a great approach. If you're starting from the gratitude, then you have the best chances of raising your level of energy, and what we now know from quantum physics that I mentioned before, like the higher your energy, like frequency of your thoughts and your kind of emotions, and as a result your body as well, the higher your better your life experiences, because then you're drawing those situations and people and experiences that are kind of on that level of consciousness and on that level of energy. So I would say energy is very important. It's more important than anything. And even like those guys who are in a law of attraction, they all say like you have to, in order to manifest even the most kind of basic material things, you have to be in a certain state of high level of energy, free energy, that you have to have in order to then kind of send those desires into ether and then get them back in the form of manifestations. What you said, being grateful for even the worst of experiences, it actually changes those experiences then. And so you're not focused on the actual experience, you're focused on the lesson that you are learning from the experience, and this immediately puts your energy in a higher state, and then you can transcend it more easily.
Yeah, well said. Awesome. That's really, really cool. I think the same. I think the same thing exactly. It changes everything, and it's like that magnet. I think, okay, one of the best questions you can ask is, "Why is my life so great?" And just like walk around going, "Why is my life so great?" And then your subconscious mind, yeah, will give you that. And as you said, energetically, and we got to mention it, power versus force. We just like people like you and I just take it for granted that we know that the pyramid of and to be in those higher levels of vibrations, and that's something that's I think is I bring up a lot. I'm always shocked the amount of people that have no idea. Most people will know, if not everyone, Maslow's pyramid, right, of needs, but
Yeah.
which is great, which is brilliant. But then like they don't know that power versus force. David Hawkins is vibrational pyramid, which is more useful than anything else you can. Pretty much more useful than entire grades of school that I've been through. Just knowing that one thing is like that one
Yeah.
piece of information is awesome, because I see that with people, and I know they see it too, and it's just like it becomes very difficult when you hear people say those things oh, like, "Oh, today's gonna be a bad day. I just know it." Like, why would you say that?
Yeah.
And why would you? And
Exactly.
you said it's like a vibrational match, and so many great teachers speak of
But,
it, whether it's Joe
yeah,
Dispenza or Wayne Dyer or Bob Proctor, or I mean, on and on, right? And it's just like you're a vibrational match. You get what's that vibrational match, and like you were saying before, to be in a state of joy, gratitude, love. Well, you're vibrating at that, so that's what you're gonna get.